a fair deal for my produce, then I have an incentive to produce more. That's what the Punjab farmers are doing. So the management experts you have, out of the 89.35 million hungry farmer households, about 1.14 million farmer households do not get enough at all. They are very, very hungry, then and so on. There are a lot of statistics on hunger in our country. What needs to be done then? You can't really, agriculture is the mainstay, because agriculture is the only one which can promote job-led economic growth. Modern industry promotes jobless growth. Jobless growth is joyless growth. Job-led growth has to come from agriculture. When I use the word agriculture, I mean crop husbandry, animal husbandry, fisheries, forestry, agro-processing, all of them together in a generic sense. The fertile crescent of our country, I found a Jordanian ambassador here. We normally call the fertile crescent from that region. But now the fertile crescent of India so far has been Punjab, Haryana and Western UP, which is the heartland of the Green Revolution, which is really the anchor for our food security system, because you must be reading in the newspapers whether the FCI will be able to buy 15 million tons of wheat or not from the Punjab this year. So it's but now, here we have to safeguard the heartland through conservation farming and then arousing the sleeping giant. The sleeping giant is Bihar. The largest amount of water, underground water is available, very good soils. You know, the land of Mithila where Sita came and so on. Historically, it's one of the finest areas, and we must. So Eastern India, particularly Bihar, West Bengal and Assam, are well endowed with water resource. Water is not a problem, but water management is a real problem in those areas. Poor Indians today have 25% of India's wealth, 25% of India's wealth, 34%, 34 billionaires have, according to that particular report, 25% of India's wealth. So you have a highly skewed nature, and the maize, demand for maize has grown because the poultry industry is growing at a very, both eggs and broilers, but our maize yield is very, very low. Maize yield, about United States 9 ton. These can all be remedied. Many of them are grown in dry farming areas. So from the Farmers Commission 2 years ago, we requested the Government of India 2007 as the year of the farmer or the year of agricultural renewal, and recommended just a 5-point action plan. Only state which has implemented is Gujarat to some extent. Gujarat's growth rate in agriculture is 11% now, largely because they've implemented, gave the soil health card, soil health for every soil health passbook to every farmer, water harvesting, credit and insurance, technology and inputs, and farmer-centric marketing. There is no particular wonderful miracle cure. Put it all together on your integrated learning and integrated action. Most important, integrated action of all the 5 of them is important. We now talk about second Green Revolution and so on, but we should understand how did the first Green Revolution act. If without knowing it, of course the Sikh farmers were the anchor of the first Green Revolution, because farming is the blood. He's one of the farmers we used to grow in 1964, the new varieties of wheat in his field, because unless you convince farmers of the importance, what they call harvesting is believing, not just seeing is believing, harvesting. What happened in the case, fortunately due to the political system, there was Mr. C. Subramaniam, there was Lal Bahadur Shastri, and later on Indira Gandhi. The decision making in government was much more possible to have a symphony. We call it a Green Revolution symphony. It had 4 components: technology, services that like seeds and so on, public policies in terms of pricing, and above all farmers enthusiastic. Unless you make farmers enthusiastic, why should they work for getting it more? When all these came, Indian farmers, I want to look at the young people here. There has been no parallel achievement in this country. That's why it's important. Indian farmers achieved as much progress in wheat production in 4 years as during the preceding 4,000 years, from Mohenjo-daro to 1966, from Mohenjo-daro to 1966. Between 1964 and 68, the progress was more in those 4 years than the preceding 4,000 years. You can take pride in our farmers who have done this remarkable job. Therefore, Indira Gandhi, who was the Prime Minister, issued a special stamp for the wheat revolution. It has got the library clock tower of the Indian Agricultural Research Institute on top, and synergy between technology and public policy was largely responsible. This is what's called the Green Revolution. Today, if you want to produce 100 million tons, the strategy is available. Dr. Abid Hussain knows my famous defend the gains, extend the gains, and net new gain. Average of yield of 4 tons we are growing 25 million hectares. It is not all difficult to produce 100 million tons, but we are stagnating at 72, 73 for the last several years, largely because of marketing, pricing, and the services which are provided to farmers. They are not. Now the large corporations like Cargill and others have come. What their implications are going to be in the longer term remains to be seen. We have an enormous capacity in ICT, and today it is possible to have this Gyan Chowpal or village knowledge centers. The Panchayat Raj Ministry is putting computers in Panchayat institutions. And e-governance, the Department of Information Technology of Government of India has 100,000 rural common service centers. So the hardware is all going to be there, but it is important to what is the content. This is why started the Jamshedji Tata on the occasion of the death centenary of Jamshedji Tata, who, Jamshedpur, remarkable man, Indian Institute of Science, and the Taj Hotel in Bombay, all of them were due to the genius. You must read Rusi Lala's book on Jamshedji Tata, young people. In a colonial time, how much the vision of one person, not only vision, to convert it into action can be done. These are all grassroots academicians, 10th class, women and men. Our Kalam likes to be with them. He came for the first convocation, second convocation, and he called them the celebration of India's rural core competence. The internet, radio, and now cell phone. For example, we can give to a fisherman, a catamaran fisherman, not a very sophisticated fisherman, a cell phone, which is a GPS data. They will know where the fish is. They can go where the fish is, can be guided and so on. So today we must bring the best in modern technology to the poorest person. Otherwise they will remain poor forever. Don't call them, they should not be committed to the National Rural Employment Guarantee Program and still work forever in their life. Then they will always remain poor. They can eat and they can live, but they can't get out of poverty. That is why you must bring in the best in modern science, where it is space technology, biotechnology to the poor. And the farm science centers, Krishi Vigyan Kendras, will have to be restructured in order to make them more conscious of conservation farming on the one hand and post-harvest processing on the other. We have a large national horticulture mission which is designed to take the country to produce 300 million tons of fruits, vegetables and flowers, in contrast to 145 million tons now. But even now the spoilage is very high. How do you really overcome in the post-harvest technology? The last of the sixth item is designing and implementing a Food Guarantee Act. The Food Guarantee Act is, we have a draft of the Food Guarantee Act in the Farmers Commission report, which is a combination of food for work and employment guarantee. It's an EGS plus food for work into a combined. It means you use food as currency and is very good for our country. The more we can consume, the more farmers will produce. That's very clear from Punjab experience and so on. If you buy it at a favorable price. That is why we need a Food Guarantee Act, and it requires a food security reserve, a public distribution system, and food for social development programs. We recommended a pricing policy which is minimum support price plus 50% more. It's a support price. At the moment it's 15%, 1.5. Recommended at least 50%. Procurement price on the basis of market price. It's what the government has done now by increasing wheat by 100 rupees more. Then provide a smart card for those selling their products.